on News Hour tonight. Inflation batters Makurdi markets as traders, buyers struggle to cope. Troops launch massive raid on bandit camps in Kayenji National Park. NDLEA intercepts Iran-bound cocaine, nabs British ex-convict at airport. And on the foreign scene, Putin holds strategic talks on Middle East, Africa during World War II commemoration. Hello and welcome to News Hour. I am Dorcas Yakobuzala. Now, as the cost of living continues to generate widespread concern across the country, local traders and consumers at markets in Makurdi, Benue State, have shared their perspectives on the changing prices of essential commodities. A correspondent who visited the market observed prevailing economic challenges marked by inflation, high transportation costs, and insecurity, leaving traders struggling to stay afloat and buyers adjusting to new spending limits. The report.
Faith Alaki, a fish seller, stands behind her table at North Bank Market, arranging a few smoked fish she could afford to transport this week. She explains that she now sources her stock from northern Nigeria due to the dwindling fish supply from the once abundant River Benue. But the journey comes at a steep price. Faith, like many others, pleads with the government to bring down fare prices and make the highways safer, so small businesses like hers can survive.
The carton of it, yes, is 100,000, but for this year, it's very costly because of the transport and the issue of Boko Haram.
Sidikato Baisa, a grains vendor, tells a different story, one that offers a glimmer of relief. According to her, prices of staples like rice, beans, garri and corn have dropped slightly compared to last year.
Last year prices they high, but this year we thank God come down. Like this our garri last year we used to buy 105, but this year now we used to buy 75. Corn last year we buy corn 90, 100, but now we thank God don't they buy 60.
Comfort Umenge, who sells cassava flour and grains, confirms that while there has been a noticeable decline in the prices of corn, millet and guinea corn, cassava flour remains a stubborn exception.
We used to sell rubber pants of corn 3,005, but now we sell it 3,000.
Mohamed Abubakar Adamu, another grain seller, also reports that prices of some food items have dropped and that access has improved.
Why the thing is going? Why the maize is going down? Still the fertilizer is still high. Understand? The fertilizer is still high. They cannot even get now a bag of maize cannot buy a fertilizer. You see the problem, which means next year they're not thinking of next year that we can buy the corn lesser than this year.
In the non-food section of the market, Amobi James, who sells kitchen utensils, recalls how businesses slowed down drastically earlier in the year. He believes the government can ease the pressure by cutting down taxes and boosting local food production.
The price hike started from around November, December, and it was at the zenith January. So as we start going from February, March, there is actually a drop in price. So we are hoping that the drop will continue.
The mixed voices from Makurdi's markets reveal a complex reality. Some goods now cost less, but the struggles persist. As traders adapt and buyers endure, the collective call remains clear. Nigerians want a break from hardship, a government that listens.
Now on security matters, the Nigerian army has begun a major counter-insurgency operation targeting bandits in the Kayenji Lake National Park, straddling parts of Kwara and Niger State. The operation, codenamed Park Strike 4, will cover over 90 kilometers from Kemanji into the forest area. Major General Obinna Onubogu, General Officer commanding 2 Division, told journalists in Kayama, Kwara State that troops have been deployed to flush out criminals and restore public confidence. He said the offensive is in line with directives from the Chief of Army Staff and will involve collaboration with other security agencies and local communities. Troops of Operation Safe Haven have arrested 2 suspected gun runners and kidnappers in Plateau State, recovering arms and ammunition during coordinated operations in Barikin Ladi local government area. The suspects, identified as Yahaya Adamu and Saidu Haruna, were apprehended in separate but related operations, which were carried out based on actionable intelligence in collaboration with the Security Intelligence Agency. Spokesman for the operation, Major Nantib Zarkom, confirmed the arrest in a statement issued on Sunday. He said the first suspect, Yahaya Adamu, was picked up on May 10th at Barikin Gangare in Barikin Ladi. His arrest led to a follow-up operation the following day, May 11th, in Marid Mazat community, where troops arrested Haruna and recovered one AK-47 rifle, an AK-47 magazine, and an ITEL mobile phone. According to Zarkom, preliminary investigations revealed that the suspects are part of a syndicate responsible for several criminal activities across Barikin Ladi, including Gashish and Kura Falls, as well as Gwantu and Fadan Karshe in Sanga local government area of Kaduna State. Now, fear and panic have gripped several communities in Sokoto State following fresh threats by notorious bandit leader Bello Turji, forcing residents to flee en masse. The ultimatum reportedly issued to residents of some communities in Isa local government area gave villagers until 4 p.m. on Sunday to evacuate or face deadly attacks. By Monday, Bafarawa town and surrounding communities, including Surudubu, Gebe, Sulawa, and Garin Fadama, were largely deserted as terrified families took flight to escape potential violence. There is growing anger over what locals describe as a sluggish and inadequate government response. Some allege Turji is being protected by unnamed actors, fueling suspicions of collusion and further eroding public trust. In response, the Sokoto State Police Command said officers have been deployed to the affected areas. Police spokesperson ASP Ahmad Rufai confirmed the movement of security personnel, even though no formal complaints had been lodged. Suspected terrorists have killed a retired secondary school teacher and abducted 3 women in an attack on the staff quarters of Government Secondary School, Safe, the headquarters of Safe local government area in Zamfara State. The victim, who had reportedly retired just months ago, was gunned down during the late-night invasion. His wife, along with 2 other female residents of the quarters, was abducted by the assailants. Confirming the incident to AIT News, the spokesperson for the Zamfara State Police Command, DSP Yazid Abubakar, said the attackers stormed the quarters around 10 p.m. on Saturday and fled into the forest with the victims. He added that police operatives have been deployed to the area and are currently tracking the perpetrators. Communities in Safe local government area have been under sustained attacks by armed groups, with residents repeatedly calling for improved security measures to protect lives and property. In Benue State, at least 23 people have been killed in a series of fresh attacks spanning 4 local government areas: Logo, Kwande, Ukum, and Guma. 8 farmers were killed Saturday morning in Jota, a border community between Benue and Taraba states. They were reportedly ambushed while heading to their farms after spending the night in the area. In a separate attack on Friday, suspected armed herders invaded Iyalamo community in Logo local government area, killing 9 residents. 3 more deaths were recorded in both Kwande and Guma local government areas. The State Commissioner for Information, Matthew Arbor, confirmed the Jota attack and linked it to ongoing tensions between Tif and Jukun communities. He added that the identities of the attackers remain unknown and other reports are still being verified. Defense Minister Abubakar Badaru has made a U-turn, expressing full support for the National Assembly's proposed security summit after initially questioning its relevance. Speaking to journalists in Abuja on Sunday, Badaru called the summit a timely initiative to tackle Nigeria's worsening security situation and pledged to personally participate. His change in tone follows criticism from lawmakers after he earlier suggested a comprehensive strategy would be more effective than holding a summit. Badaru now says the summit provides a platform for gathering diverse perspectives that can strengthen national defense plans. He emphasized that real impact will depend on translating dialogue into action. Away from security matters, former First Lady Dame Patience Jonathan has publicly declared her support for President Bola Tinubu and the First Lady Senator Oluremi Tinubu ahead of the 2027 general elections. She made the declaration in Abuja while receiving the Women Icon Leader of the Year award presented by Accolade Dynamics Limited. Patience Jonathan pledged to campaign alongside the First Lady, citing a deep personal and political bond that spans decades. Reaffirming her belief in Nigeria's rotational leadership principle, she described it as essential for fairness and unity across the country. Jonathan also praised President Tinubu's daughter, Folashade Tinubu Ojo, for her advocacy for women in politics and called on Nigerian women to rally behind the First Lady's initiatives. The Bauchi State Independent Electoral Commission says all arrangements have been concluded for the upcoming local government by-elections scheduled to hold on May 24, 2025. The chairman of the commission made the announcement while briefing journalists on the level of preparedness. Trust TV's Adamu Imam has more.
The Bauchi State Electoral Body has reaffirmed its commitment to conducting a free, fair and credible by-election in Shira local government area. The election became necessary following the impeachment of the former local council chairman and his deputy. Briefing journalists in Bauchi, the executive chairman of the Bauchi State Independent Electoral Commission, Ahmed Makama, emphasized the need for cooperation from voters and all citizens to ensure the success of the exercise.
We are duty bound to fill that vacancy via an election. So that is why we are making adequate preparations to conduct by-election in that local government. The Bauchi State Electoral Law 2008 clearly stipulates that where a vacancy exists in a local government, the State Independent Electoral Commission is given 14 days to fill up that vacancy.
Meanwhile, the Zenith Labour Party and residents in the area share their views on the upcoming poll, reflecting on its implications for grassroots governance and political participation.
You cannot put something into empty space and expect it to stay. Definitely it will fall down. That's one of the maxims by this law firm. Actually, we even challenge the previous election in the court of law due to the irregularities, premature pronouncement of the election. And yet, this by-election more or less the same, because up to this very moment, we are yet to receive any official letter from the authority concerned related to this by-election.
This is not the first time we are witnessing local council elections. We have observed this kind of election process many times, and it's always the same. Unless INEC is the one conducting the election, we can only pray for justice in such by-elections.
Government is conducting election, and hopefully we are expecting to see good. So the way things are happening, things are changing, because when you talk about local government election, it's a long time something that we haven't seen anything like election in local government.
The Commission also called on political stakeholders and security agencies across the state to support the electoral process and ensure a peaceful and orderly conduct of the election. Adam Imam, Trust TV News, Bauchi.
Now, former Vice President Yemi Oshibanjo has called on Nigerian leaders to move beyond political rivalries and focus on meaningful service delivery. Speaking at the Rotary International Conference in Port Harcourt, Oshibanjo emphasized the importance of leadership rooted in compassion and public good, particularly in the areas of education, healthcare, and social security. The report.
Delivering a keynote titled "The Magic of Connection, the Imperative and Privilege of Service," Professor Oshibanjo described leadership as both duty and a privilege. He pointed to Chief Awolowo's free education policy in Western Nigeria as a benchmark for transformative governance, one that uplifts millions despite its high cost.
So free education, for example, universal healthcare, are not just policy choices. They are reflections of selfless and visionary leadership. In many countries, these systems were built by leaders who saw governance not merely as a tool for power, but as a moral obligation to uplift society, especially the most vulnerable.
Reflecting on his role in drafting the APC's 2024 manifesto, Osinbajo revealed how debates over social investment programs led to initiatives like the school feeding scheme and the trader money. He stressed that a nation's greatness is measured by how it supports its most vulnerable.
It is often said that Nigerians are individually some of the most successful persons in the world. And that is true in the professions, in business, and even in public service. It appears that in the pursuit of our personal ambitions, we're able to make phenomenal achievements. But when it comes to organizing ourselves as communities and working together to execute even physical infrastructure, to service our businesses, to service our social activities, to provide public goods for ourselves, to set the rules for justice and implement them faithfully, to secure our societies from internal or external aggression, we fall flat on our faces.
Professor Osinbajo's remarks come as Nigeria faces mounting economic and social challenges, reigniting calls for leaders to prioritize impactful governance over political maneuvering.
The National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, has recorded major breakthroughs in its ongoing war against drug trafficking, with 2 high-profile arrests made at Nigeria's international airports. In Rivers State, NDLEA operatives arrested a woman, Miracle Obehi, at the Port Harcourt International Airport on May 3rd while attempting to smuggle cocaine to Iran. The suspect, disguised in a hijab, was intercepted while boarding a Qatar Airways flight. The drugs were concealed in her private parts, handbag, and strapped to her body. In another operation on May 9th, NDLEA officers at Lagos Murtala Muhammad International Airport apprehended a 22-year-old British national, Campbell Kaisra Kofi Johans Slifa, with 35 parcels of loud, a potent strain of cannabis weighing over 37 kilograms. The ex-convict, previously jailed for drug and robbery offences in the UK, admitted he was recruited in London to pick up the drugs in Thailand and deliver them in Nigeria. Nationwide, the NDLEA carried out a series of other raids and interceptions. In Niger State, officers seized 3,047 kilograms of skunk hidden in a fuel tanker and 3 other vehicles. In Kano, a major bust uncovered 775 liters of codeine syrup during a targeted operation. The Nigerian government on Saturday night received 78 of its citizens who were among 115 victims rescued from human trafficking in Côte d'Ivoire. The returnees arrived aboard on Air Peace flight at Terminal 2 of the Murtala Muhammad International Airport, Lagos. The report.
The group consisted of 75 adults and 3 children, 73 females and 2 males, many of whom had suffered severe exploitation. They were received by officials of the National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons, NAPTIP, representatives of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and members of the Nigerian community in Côte d'Ivoire. Speaking on the harrowing experiences of the victims, Ambassador Regina Ocheni of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs revealed that some of the rescued individuals changed their minds and declined to return home while at the airport in Abidjan.
78 persons, including children, have been received. They are right now in the capable hands of NAPTIP for profiling and then treatment and every other thing that needs to be done.
The Director General of NAPTIP, Binta Adamo Bello, emphasized the agency's ongoing commitment to protect and rehabilitate survivors of trafficking and ensure they are reintegrated into society with dignity.
Let me assure every Nigerian, NAPTIP remain ever committed, ever vigilant, and ever determined. We will continue to work tirelessly to combat trafficking, prosecute traffickers, protect and rehabilitate victims. This is not just our job, it is our responsibility.
Popular human rights activist Martins Ose, also known as Very Dark Man, who was present at the airport to show solidarity, condemned the traffickers and urged stronger cross-border collaboration to dismantle trafficking networks.
It still happens inside Nigeria. A kid standing on the road to beg you different traffic junctions in Nigeria is also trafficking. Some of them are being trafficked and turned into beggars. You know, the problem is really, really big. It's not about bringing them back and then you just bring them back, you do rehabilitation. A lot of them will still go back because these borders are porous.
The chairman of AirPeace also lent his voice, commending the partnership between governments and private institutions to bring the victims home safely.
Over 400 million naira lost. But it's not about money. It's not about money. There's no amount of money that you can equate to life. The most important thing is that we brought them back alive. We want to reintegrate them into the society. And let me tell you this, it's not just about bringing them. I've already enrolled all of them at the Duchess Hospital. The Duchess Hospital have been waiting since morning, brought their people to wait. They even spoke with Hajia too. We are funding it. APC is funding it for their treatment because you can see some of them are pregnant. We need to test some of them for HIV because you don't want to reintegrate them and the population will be affected by whatever they have. And you need to save their own lives too.
The president of the Nigerian community in Cote d'Ivoire disclosed that beyond sexual exploitation, many young Nigerian girls are forced into hard labor, including working in dangerous gold mines.
He told me that it was supermarket. When I get it there, he now said that it's prostitution work. I said I cannot do. So she even forced me, said that if I run, she's going to make me mad. She can use 3 million naira to sell babalawo so that person will go mad. So because of the fear, and I said let me just work.
Most boys that are drunk, they come to carry us, go and sell us, give us money. We give to our madam. When we are pregnant, our madam give us drugs. They even give us family planning of 5 years on our body so that we cannot get pregnant.
It remains a major challenge in Nigeria. According to NAPTIP, thousands of Nigerian women and children are trafficked annually, mostly to Europe, the Middle East, and parts of West Africa like Mali and Cote d'Ivoire. The United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime reports that Nigeria is both a source and transit country for trafficking, with women and girls forming over 90% of identified victims.
This is News Hour on Trust TV. Coming up ahead. Just elders rally for literacy to bridge divides and rebuild trust. This and many more when we return. Do stay with us. Welcome back. In case you just joined in, this is News Hour on Trust TV. Let's take a look at our top stories again. Inflation batters Makurdi markets as traders, buyers struggle to cope. And troops launch massive raid on bandit camps in Kayenji National Park. Now moving on to more stories, the chairman of Zamfara State Council of Chiefs and Emir of Anka, Atahiru Ahmed, has urged leaders to lead with the fear of God and compassion, noting that doing so will earn them the trust of their people and help foster peace and security in the country. He made the call during an event held in Namuda to promote peace and showcase the cultural heritage of the various ethnic groups within the emirate, held at the palace premises of the Emir of Namuda. The report.
The event began with a royal endurance trek from the Emir of Namuda's private residence to his palace, where crowds gathered to welcome him. It brought together diverse ethnic groups residing in Namuda local government area of Zamfara State to promote unity, peaceful coexistence, and mutual respect through a celebration of their vibrant cultural identities. The chairman of the Zamfara State Council of Chiefs and Emir of Anka, Attahiru Ahmad, called on leaders at all levels to embrace humility, justice, and compassion, qualities he said will strengthen relationships with their subjects and reinforce peaceful cohabitation.
I remember when you were grown, when you were Taban, you have seen the mammoth crowd, and you can see the crowd did not agree. That is to say that you are doing well, and your people like you. So please continue to display those qualities that attract them.
Governor Dauda Lawal, represented at the event by the Speaker of the Zamfara State House of Assembly, Bilyamin Ismail, commended the effort of security operatives in helping restore calm to part of the state. He pledged the administration's continued resolve to work with all stakeholders to end banditry and insecurity.
Inshallah, we will continue to regain our peace in Zamfara State with the support of all the agencies, particularly the army.
The Zamfara State of Service, Yakubu Haidara, also praised the Emir of Oran Namuda for introducing initiatives that unite people across different backgrounds and contribute to the development of the emirate.
Since he assumed office as the 17th Emir of Oran Namuda, he has been bringing in many innovations that are geared towards the development of the emirate.
The Emir appreciated the continuous support of the people and urged them to embrace one another, live peacefully, and uphold the values that promote national unity.
We have conducted medical outreach earlier in the open and here in the Emirates. But General Butai sent his own team for the medical outreach to cover more than 12 different categories. I have nothing to say than to thank you.
The theater commander of Operation Pansanyamba, Major General Olayinka Shoyele, was represented at the event by Brigadier General A.A. Babatunde. The event featured captivating cultural performances from Igbo, Yoruba, Fulani, Hausa, and Southern Kaduna groups, highlighting the strengths in Nigeria's diversity and reinforcing the call for peaceful coexistence among all.
Elders across communities in Jos North local government area of Plateau State are stepping up to revive the fading reading culture among youths. Through organized reading sessions, they are encouraging younger generations to embrace books while fostering peace and unity in their communities. Ado Musa has a report.
A poor reading culture reflects a society where reading is neither prioritized nor widely practiced, often due to limited access to books, weak educational systems, and a lack of role models. In Nigeria, the problem remains significant, with over 75 million people considered illiterate and only about 31.6% of Nigerians engaging in daily reading. The impact on education and development is profound. To tackle this, a community-driven initiative is mobilizing elders and professionals to inspire children and students through role modeling and shared reading experiences.
If the elders are not reading, then who will inspire these young ones to read books? So we now decided that we're going to be hosting, reading books with the elders of the community. So today we're here for that book reading, because we believe that if elders read books, the communities rise.
The initiative is also designed to serve as a platform for promoting unity and peaceful coexistence across Plateau State diverse community.
So we believe that books can foster peaceful coexistence. Like we're here, we're discussing a book. That is bonding us together. We're learning together. We're going to school, public schools, where we have Christians, we have Muslims, and sometimes even people from other faiths. One team brought us together.
Today, it's a reality. I think a few years ago, nobody would have believed that Ngorogo community, which is dominated by our Islamic brothers, will be hosting reading that is initiated by the Christian brothers. But look at the warm welcome, look at the wonderful presence,
At the sessions, participants acknowledge the importance of such grassroots effort in rekindling interest in reading and rebuilding trust across generations.
For the first time, it has brought
not students, not just young people. It has brought elders, and that is the focus, because when you remind elders about the importance of reading, encouraging them to read, and then also inculcating the reading culture, among their children. What we are trying to do now is to domesticate the books in cultures that are not alien to us, that are within the context of our own society, so that we can now be able to begin to inculcate that discipline in the children that are growing up in each of the respective schools' curriculum.
Also at the event, Dr. Jamila Muazu pointed out how the state of the community libraries is affecting reading habits. Poor infrastructure and lack of resources continue to discourage consistent reading, especially among young people.
One of the challenges we're facing is that, we have a lot of books in the market now, but we need elders in the community. We need our professors and our intellectuals to help us get the right books that will change the children's mindset. When books are taken to the library, ideally, we must have content readers, people that will read the content of those books and see if those books are religiously fit, culturally fit. So another challenge about that is the issue of equal access. Now we have the library. Then how do we make sure that everyone get equal access to all the facilities in the library and also get support in learning how to read? So I suggested that we need volunteers from the community.
The Elders Book Reading Initiative features seniors leading reading activities aimed at mentoring and inspiring children to explore books and learn through storytelling and engagement. The effort is gaining traction as both a literacy drive and a peace-building strategy. Ado Musa, Trust TV News, Jos.
And now in Anambra State, the state government has sanctioned a private school in Awka for charging pupils 5,000 naira to contest for head prefect positions. Blossom Found School faces a 1-month closure after it was found monetizing student leadership roles, a practice the government describes as exploitative and unethical. Education Commissioner Professor Ngozi Chuma Ude announced the sanction over the weekend, saying the act undermines merit and sends the wrong message to children. An investigation has been launched into the school's operations, and officials say more sanctions may follow. The state insists it will not tolerate practices that commercialize education or violate students' rights. Jigawa State is charting a bold course in healthcare reform as a major investment under the World Bank-backed Impact Project is driving a comprehensive overhaul of its primary health system. Our correspondent details the latest progress following an oversight visit from a high-level delegation from Abuja. The report.
Jigawa State is undergoing a transformative shift in its healthcare sector, fueled by an $11 million commitment from the World Bank's Impact Project. Spearheaded by technical team lead Honorinde Asire, the initiative targets the revitalization of 114 primary healthcare centers with the goal of significantly expanding access to quality services. Speaking during a recent monitoring visit, Asire reiterated the project's core objective, which is to ensure reliable, round-the-clock healthcare by equipping facilities with skilled personnel and the resources needed to serve communities more effectively. Although Jigawa is not classified among the northern states with the highest maternal mortality rate, it remains proactive. Early gains from the impact projects are evident in maternal and child health improvement, thanks to interventions such as the distribution of mama kits, enhanced support for traditional birth attendants, and wider immunization outreach.
Our role is to work with him to achieve that. And why we made that? Very basic things. Very basic things. One, improve primary health care service delivery. Why will a primary health care not have basic things to deliver a woman? Why would they not have basic drugs? They are not expensive to treat people. Why should we not have healthcare workers in those facilities. And so we took that as a priority. And the IMPACT project is upgrading about 3,000 facilities nationwide, of which of that number we have 114 in Jigawa State.
Governor Umar Namadi highlighted the administration's commitments by approving the recruitment of more than 1,500 new health workers. He also assured that the temporary J-Health staff are being adequately compensated with structured plans for their permanent integration into the workforce. To ensure uninterrupted services, over 284 primary health centers have now been equipped with solar power, clean water supply, and critical infrastructure upgrades.
Maternal mortality is something that we need to address. And also, to add to that, in addition to all we are doing, the local government are also very alert. They are trying to upgrade some of the primary health care centers also. They are providing the L-Chef so as they will provide 24-hour service. We are providing solar, we are providing water, we are providing everything in this place, so that at least the primary health care centers will be able to provide 24-hour service. And like I said, we are also trying to improve the manpower.
Stakeholders maintain that the IMPACT project exemplifies how strategic collaboration between government and global partners can yield tangible improvement in public health and community well-being.
In Bauchi State, more than 1,000 corps members have completed skill acquisition and entrepreneurship development training in the state. The participants were trained on various skills, including bag making, paint production, and cosmetology, among others. The report.
Declaring the exercise closed at the NYSC Permanent Orientation Camp in Wailo, Ganjuwa local government of Bauchi State, the state coordinator Rafkatu Daniel Yakubu appreciated the federal government and the management of NYSC for introducing the skills acquisition and entrepreneurship development since 2012. The coordinator advised corps members to continue with post-camp training that will enable them acquire more skills in order to have multiple income sources.
The essence of introducing these aid activities is a lack of the white-collar job in our nation. And so, corps members have been encouraged to ensure that they engage in the SAID training so that they become employers of labor in the near future. My advice to corps members is to take the SAID training seriously. Apart from the intensive 9 days training on camp, I will advise them to continue with the post-camp training.
Beneficiaries could not hide their excitement after a successful completion of the exercise.
I participated in the just concluded SAID class. I was in the catering/bakery SAID class. In our class, we learned so many things, and I was privileged to be in the class. We learned the basic when it comes to catering services and when it comes to baking. We're not just given this class, we were given the privilege to engage in the class.
I particularly enjoyed the concluded SAID class on fashion group. I have learned so many skills like sewing a native menswear and some styles of women wear. I thank the federal government and NYSC management for giving me the opportunity to participate in this SAID class.
The event took place at the new NYSC Hall, Wailo Permanent Orientation Camp, Ganjuwa, local government of Bauchi State.
The federal government says there's no going back on its plan to conduct crude oil and refined product sales in Naira. Finance Minister Wale Edun reaffirmed the policy during a meeting of the Technical Subcommittee on Naira Crude Sales in Abuja, describing the move as a strategic step to strengthen the local currency and attract investment in domestic refining. Key stakeholders at the meeting included the NNPCL, FIRS, NUPRC, and the Nigerian Port Authority. Officials say progress is ongoing and interagency cooperation has been strong. You're watching News Hour on Trust TV. More news after the break.
Welcome to Trust TV, your gateway to the captivating essence of Nigerian history,
culture, and society.
And this is where the hydroelectric power dam is supposed to be constructed.
Delve into the depths of Nigeria's past with our insightful documentaries unraveling the intricacies of ancient civilizations and colonial influences that have shaped the nation's identity. Immerse yourself in the vibrant Nigerian traditions and customs as we showcase the diverse cultural landscape.
The early history of human existence can be traced to the heart of northern Nigeria. Here, archaeologists found evidence of a group of people who sculpted clay and developed tools to smelt iron.
From lively festivals to time-honored rituals, Trust TV encapsulates the spirit of Nigeria's dynamic heritage. Experience an authentic portrayal of contemporary Nigerian culture that is both engaging and enriching.
With over 250 ethnicities, over 500 languages, and a youthful population, Nigeria has a truly diverse demographic advantage.
Don't miss out on Trust TV's amazing and impactful storytelling. Trust TV, documenting the Nigerian story.
Many thanks for staying with us. In case you just joined in, this is News Hour on Trust TV. And now in business, a civil society organization has filed a lawsuit at the Federal High Court in Abuja against the Asset Management Corporation of Nigeria, AMCON, Bureau of Public Enterprises, BPE, Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission, NERC, and Ibadan Electricity Distribution Company, IBEDC, over the proposed sale of a 60% equity stake in IBEDC for $62 million, equivalent to 100 billion naira. The group alleges the sale is grossly undervalued, resulting in a $107 million loss compared to the $169 million paid during IBEDC's 2013 privatization. Represented by Chibuzo C. Ezike and other lawyers, the plaintiff seeks court declarations that AMCON, holding the stake in trust for Nigerians, cannot sell it below the 2013 valuation and that the current sale is unlawful. It also requests others to nullify any transaction below $169 million, restrain BPE and NERC from approving it, and award legal costs. The CSO claims IBEDC, Nigeria's largest power distributor, serving over 30 million people across 7 states, has assets valued at over 1 trillion naira. APM Terminals Apapa has recorded its highest volume of exports in 1 month since its inception in 2006. The terminal had in April 2025 handled 8,687 20-foot equivalent units of export cargo, an over 30% rise as against 6,606 TEUs recorded in April 2024. This was made known in a press statement made available to newsmen on Sunday. Terminal manager at APM Terminals Apapa, Steen Knudsen, highlighted the positive trend of consistent growth in Nigeria's export volumes over recent years. He emphasized that this development significantly benefits Nigeria's trade balance. He attributed this upward trajectory to strategic enhancements implemented at the terminal. Expressing gratitude for collaborative efforts, Knudsen praised the Nigerian Ports Authority, Nigerian Railway Corporation, and other key agencies, saying their unwavering support enables the terminal to focus on delivering top-tier services to customers. In the last 4 years, APM Terminals Apapa has recorded a steady rise in export volumes. Away from Nigeria, at least 7 people have died in Mogadishu following hours of intense overnight rainfall that triggered widespread flooding across Somalia's capital. A downpour which began Friday night and lasted over 10 hours left behind a trail of destruction, displacing more than 200 families, destroying 9 homes and damaging 6 major roads. Authorities in Banadir region confirmed that 2 of the victims were women. Local residents reported scenes of devastation, with some neighborhoods submerged and children among the dead. A disaster comes amid warnings from the United Nations, which reported in April that over 4,000 to 5,000 people have already been affected by flash floods across Somalia this year. Experts say the Horn of Africa remains highly vulnerable to climate shocks, with extreme weather events like floods and droughts becoming increasingly common. Last year, similar flooding killed more than 100 people and displaced over 1 million. Russian President Vladimir Putin held high-level talks in Moscow on Saturday with leaders from the Palestinian Authority, Zimbabwe and Burkina Faso as part of events marking the 80th anniversary of the defeat of Nazi Germany. Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas, Zimbabwean President Emerson Mnangagwa and Burkina Faso's Captain Ibrahim Traore joined Putin to discuss regional cooperation and global security. During his meeting with Abbas, Putin proposed further collaboration to ease escalating tensions in the Middle East amid growing international concern over the Gaza crisis. The summit came hours after leaders from France, Germany, the UK and Poland issued a unified call for Putin to accept a 30-day ceasefire in Ukraine, an offer reportedly backed by US President Donald Trump following consultations earlier in the day. In his first Sunday blessing as Pontiff, Pope Leo XIV made a heartfelt appeal for peace in Ukraine and Gaza, urging an immediate ceasefire and the release of hostages, as well as unrestricted humanitarian access. Addressing tens of thousands from the central loggia of St. Peter's Basilica, the first American pope broke tradition by speaking from the basilica rather than the apostolic palace window. The Pope's message, rooted in compassion and diplomacy, was met with cheers from a crowd of more than 100,000 as church bells rang out across the square during Jubilee celebrations. Now, at least 21 people have died and dozens more were injured when a bus carrying Buddhist pilgrims veered off a cliff in central Sri Lanka early Sunday. Authorities confirmed that the accident occurred near the mountainous town of Kotmale, about 140 kilometers east of the capital. Deputy Minister of Transport and Highways, Prasanna Gunasena, said local residents helped rescue passengers from the wreckage, likely preventing an even higher death toll. Police reported that 24 people were being treated in hospitals for injuries. And now in sports, Flying Eagles head coach Aliou Zubairu reckoned Senegal would make things difficult for his side in their quarterfinal fixture at the 2025 Africa Under-20 Cup of Nations. The West African Giants will clash at the Suez Canal Stadium Ismailia on Monday. Senegal defeated Nigeria 1-0 in the group stage 2 years ago in Egypt. The Flying Eagles would be eager to avenge that defeat this time around. A win would move them one step closer to an 8th crown and secure a return to the global stage. Coach Zubairu stated that his team must show determination and discipline to achieve victory. Now, Rivers United and Abia Warriors confirmed their place on the continent on Sunday with a game to spare. Both teams will, however, wait until the final day of the season to determine their position on the log. Rivers United sit in second place on the log with 61 points, while Abia Warriors occupy third spot with 60 points. Rivers United confirmed their place in the top 3 despite going down to a 3-1 loss to Kwara United in Ilorin. And with that, we wrap up News Hour on Trust TV. Do not forget to follow us across all social media platforms for more programs, news, and documentaries. My name is Dorcas Yakub Zala. Goodbye.